I recently got back into yoga. I've gone to class 6 of the last 8 days. I just got back. That's why I'm not wearing one of my classic Lululemon polos. And it has me thinking about the basics. Stretching, breathing, feeling good. So in today's video, I want to get back to the basics of cold calling so that you can feel good about setting more meetings and making more money. I've made 60,000 outbound cold calls, and I'm going to share with you the 4 key basics, the master tips that will unlock the secrets of the universe, because I think people overthink, overanalyze, paralyzed by analyze. They're worried about calling in front of other people. So let's get back to the basics. Tip number 1 is to obsess over the process and emotionally detach from the results. When I'm on that yoga mat, I'm not trying to get anywhere. There is no victory. It's just, hey, let me move my hip. Let me put my arm above my head. I'm literally drowning in sweat the other day in the morning, one of those hot yoga classes. I'm obsessed over the process. I'm just trying to do the stretches, and it doesn't matter if I win afterwards. It doesn't matter if I complete the stretch better than someone else. I'm playing my own game. So when you're making the cold calls, you can't worry about setting the meeting. You can't worry about not setting the meeting. You can't worry about the prospect saying, you know what, you have the greatest talk track I've ever heard. I'll meet with you. Or them saying, lose my number, and they hang up. That's called a body bag. So you can't worry about any of that. All you can focus on is the process, which are the inputs, making more calls. They say sales is a numbers game, and it really is that simple. If you make 1,000 calls, and let's say you have a 10% answer rate, okay, 100 live conversations, well, what's your set rate? 20%, okay, maybe 2 set meetings. Okay, what's your show rate? 50%, okay, one meeting that actually happens. And then what's your conversion rate to an opportunity? Maybe even less than that. So if you just make more calls, increase your top of the funnel, you're gonna be more successful. But in order for you to be more successful, you actually have to detach yourself from that result and just obsess over the process, which is winning the day. Tip number 2, fortune is in the follow-ups. And the reason I say this is because the more I go to yoga, the more flexible, limber, ripped I'm gonna be. I'm the most elite cold caller in the game, and also the most flexible. That's why I'm able to sit at my desk and fire off dials all day. I once cold called a prospect 46 times over the course of 2 years. A VP at a $1 billion plus credit union. I've spoke with him multiple times over the course. He'd say, yeah, I'll take your meeting. Never shows, and then just acts like he doesn't know who I am. So I kept on. Eventually, he agreed to my meeting, and he said, hey, include Glenda on the call. It just so happens I had also called Glenda, the director, 34 times. I get him on the call, and I make a joke, and I say, guys, I know I've really tried hard to earn your time. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to our meeting here today. They ended up buying a $60,000 3-year TCV software package. And then my prospect, the VP, retired 2 months later. So he literally got me signed up on board. I got a $2,500 commission, and he retired. And we were trying to set up the implementation call. He's like, yeah, let's just do it in the new year. I'll be retired. My team can figure it out. He had enough respect for me. We were texting by the end of it, where he's like, let me just set this guy up, because this dude called me 46 times over 2 years. That's what it looks like. That's what it takes. It's all about being persistent in a professional manner. If you get told no, call him back in a month. If you don't hear from him at the end of your sequence, add him to a new sequence. Never stop. Fortune is in the follow-ups. Tip number 3, to get back to the cold calling basics. This is how to overcome objections at the beginning of the call. Because you've probably heard, I'm in a meeting. How'd you get my number? Who are you? What do you want? Don't call me. Call me back later. Hey, is this a cold call? You're going to get a variety of brush-offs at the beginning of the conversation. And I'm going to give you the exact script response I use to always get into the cold call. But first, you got to know, if the call feels rushed, it's you who are rushing the call. When I first started cold calling, they said, I'm in an office, arms reach to everyone. And they said, hey, you sound like a used car salesman because you're talking so fast. And I had a script, and I was trying to read off the script, so I came off as robotic, and I was talking fast because I was nervous, because I was worried about the outcome. I wasn't obsessed with the results of the process at that point in time. So I learned that I need to control the pace at all times. I can't control the prospect and what they say or what they do, but I can control how I respond. So I will slow play my way into a hang up if needed, because I'm going to control the pace. When they give you any objection at the beginning of the call, hey, this is Trent from Keychain. How are you? Good. Oh, how'd you get my number? Hey, I know I'm calling you out of the blue. May I have 30 seconds for me to tell you the reason why I'm calling you? 80% of the time, they're going to say, go ahead. Sometimes they'll say, I just started my timer. And you're probably not going to set that meeting. But the point is, you don't go away easy. You don't go away easy because they don't want to speak with you at that moment. You are interrupting their day. Call them out of the blue. They're very busy. They don't want to speak with you. So you have to push back and say, don't go away easy. Make it seem like it's such a low barrier ask. Hey, just give me may I have 15 seconds for me to tell you the reason why I'm calling you? That's it. Because you don't go away easy, because you need them to know by the seriousness of your voice, you will call them back later. If they get off the phone, they're on your hit list, or you're going to be calling them twice a day now. So you're going to call them back, but you got to get them on the phone, because it's actually a waste of your time to keep following up with them when you're probably not going to set the meeting regardless. So always pull out that phrase, may I have 30 seconds for me to tell you the reason why I'm calling you. The fourth and final tip, and if you guys are finding value in this video and having as much fun as I am right now, hit the thumbs up button now. Some more cold callers can get access to this valuable free information. The final cold calling tip to increase your show rate, because I've been seeing a lot of comments recently about this. Hey, I'm getting no-showed. When I first started, I had a tough time getting people on the phone. And then I figured that out. Then I had a tough time getting people to accept my meeting. And then I figured that out. And then I had a tough time getting them to show up to the meeting. And then, of course, getting it to convert into a qualified opportunity. So when you have them on the phone, you go through your talk track, all that. And I've got other videos on this channel with my talk track if you'd like to go look them up. At the end of the call, you always say, yeah, you confirm their email. So is the best email to reach you still Trent@subscribe@keychain.com? Yeah, it is. Okay, great. I'm going to send you a calendar right now. My objective for our meeting is to discuss your priorities, introduce how we might be able to help. And if we both agree there's alignment, I'd like to continue the conversation. If not, we can part ways. How does that sound? They're going to say, good. So, okay, cool. Sounds good. What you just did there is you got their verbal commitment. One, that they're bought into your agenda, your purpose of the call. But two, you've given them an out. You've reduced the pressure in a way. So now they don't feel as like they're going to be sold, because you've assured them, hey, if we don't agree there's alignment, we will part ways. But you know deep down, you're going to find a way to get alignment. And that's what we do in cold calling, just like what we do in yoga. It's all about the basics. Obsess over the process, emotionally detached from the results. You can actually extrapolate that out to a lot of things in life. Fortune is in the follow-ups. What I forgot to add that I think is interesting as well, Alex Hormozi has talked about this, but you can also make a fortune gambling. Cold calling is the ultimate form of gambling. It's like playing the slots, but you can never lose. Your downside is capped. You might just get told no. You just spend some time. The upside is infinite. You could make unlimited money if you get good enough at cold calling, if you have a solution that's of enough value and you're calling big old B2B organizations. You can make a ton of money. So it's like gambling, but you can never lose. Number 3, may I have 30 seconds for me to tell you the reason why I'm calling? Never rush, control the pace. And then finally, number 4, the last basic, is set a agenda at the end of your cold call, which will increase the show rate and the actual quality of your meetings. I read all the comments. So if you have any video ideas for me, or if you have any questions, let me know down below. connect with me on LinkedIn if we have not already. And I'll talk to you in the next video. You should start doing yoga.